Alright, chat, we are reacting to Trey Bordo's Dark World video.
What you just saw is the hardest stage in 16-star. But how exactly does it work? Well, to answer this question, we'll have to go back to the magical year of 2005. The Wii had yet to release, I wasn't born, and a runner known as
Le Courret
was in a basement somewhere pioneering movement for SM64.
Le Courret.
During an individual level speedrun, or IL, he would complete the first known speedrun of Bowser in the Dark World, with a supposed time of 34 seconds on May 6th, 2005, stating in his own words that the run was completely flawless. He also mentions an IL where he managed to grab all 8 red coins in a minute and 8 seconds. While his 8 coin time isn't ideal, it would
That was
prove
flawless.
To be the start
I mean,
of
this
an
is clearly
ongoing
flawless
quest to
movement.
perfect the hardest
Come on.
stage in Super Mario 64.
These are just blue light glasses, Rico. Because I get migraines. Edited by Remedy. Oh, no way, really? Shoutouts to Remedy. He's one of my viewers too, right?
After the Curse 108, many runners fought to lower the record, but with no footage available, Erevan would be the first to submit a recorded record time of 52.5, bringing the record down by 16 seconds. Erevan's run showed off impressive movement.
Holy
for the time.
shit.
While the movement was shaky, he still managed to hit what we now know as normal cycle. But what is a cycle? A cycle is based on these rotating platforms. A cycle begins when a platform is approaching the 6th red coin, and it ends once the platform moves past the red. Once that platform moves past the red, the adjacent platform starts a new cycle.
This is good. I don't think I've ever seen somebody explain this in a video. Anybody who ever wonders like what the difference between Sukima cycle and Shigeru cycle is in Dark World, it's that. If you make it in time for the elevator to not turn too far where you can't go on it to grab the red, then you miss that cycle and have to wait for the next platform. And that is known as Shigeru cycle, which is about 3 seconds slower because you have to wait for the platform to have sex with a man, basically.
Catches a half cycle, as indicated by the position of this platform.
Then there's half cycles too, yes, which is Zaya cycle, basically.
Cycle. That is because he landed on the platform as it was approaching the red, and not while it was at the red. But what would happen if he got to the platform earlier? Well, a runner known as Shigeru would show us what that would look like on January 8th, 2011.
There it is.
He would perform his aptly named Shigeru cycle in his 16:21 16-star world record. The differences between Erevan and Shigeru's Dark Worlds were day and night, with Shigeru consistently saving 4 seconds over Erevan's run every time by tightening his movement to reach the platform sooner. Later on, Shigeru would refine his movement by opting to long jump to the button at the start, allowing him to collect the reds in a different order, making the cycle easier to catch.
That's cool. I didn't know about that alternative side flip strat.
Today, due to the consistency of the cycle.
Check the blinks.
Players such as Batora, Liam, and Beast Assassin opting to go for this cycle. However, this isn't the only cycle speedrunners go for. On July 12th, 2012, a runner would smoke the previous record with a 46.34, saving 2 seconds over Shigeru's cycle. And that runner's name was Zaya.
Michael Jackson. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Zaya.
Those are real pictures of his bedroom, by the way. This is Zaya's bedroom. That is his bedroom that he posted. Look at the cigarettes.
Zaya was no stranger to setting records.
The new Panon CCM Stratton runs, babe, it's like way slower. I'm guessing you watched the video.
During his dominant reign, he held
not
the
that it's possible anyway, RTA.
In 2015, and would later go on to grab the 16, 70, and 1-star world records at the same time during 2016. During Zaya's cycle, he grabbed the metal cap on his way to the first red, which allowed him to simultaneously grab the second red coin and run through the fire without burning. With this movement, Zaya was able to reach the spinning platforms half a cycle earlier than Shigeru's cycle. The difference being that this platform was not underneath the red coin, but was instead approaching it, allowing Zaya to jump kick to the red and land on the spinning platform earlier.
Yeah.
However, there's one problem. Grabbing the metal cap isn't viable for runs due to the fact that the metal cap switch, located in HMC, is only accessible after you beat Bowser in the Dark World. So the SM64 community came up with an RTA viable Zaya cycle where you do a box rollout to the second red coin to avoid the fire and make the same cycle. However, during his 2018 world record, Ouija opted to land on the box instead of rolling out, and still managed to make Zaya by diving between the rotating platforms and tightening his movement.
Now you don't even need to do any of that. You could just do normal movement and just like do the triple jump thing that I do. Although a lot of people don't do that for some reason.
Even though Zaya was faster, runners felt that they could save even more time by running over the button instead of stopping and turning around. If pulled off correctly, it would allow runners to catch a faster cycle, saving 2 more seconds in both single star and RTA runs. But who would be the one to do it first?
Sukima. This shit is crazy, man. Are we gonna call it the impossible cycle?
Sukima Hato would bring the stage world record down to 44.9 seconds by combining the faster button press, a delayed long jump, and a dive between the platforms. This movement allowed Sukishima to reach the platforms earlier than Zaya and marked the first time someone was able to save a full cycle over Shigeru. This run was thought to be way ahead of its time, and some were even skeptical. Still, due to this achievement, the community opted to name this new cycle Sukishima Cycle in honor of him. But maybe it was.
Thank you, Sevens. I appreciate it, babe. Glad you enjoy them. The case against Sukishima. He's a cheater and a bitch.
In 2016, popular tasser Panenkoic released a video covering the various blinking cycles in SM64. In this video, he discovered that Mario blinks every 64 frames, no matter what happens. Later, Luigi determined that this constant blink cycle could be used to expose cheaters.
He does 2 sets, or he does 1 set of 2 blinks every 64 frames. And so in theory, if you cut out all the right frames, he should always do a set of blinking on a interval of 64 frames. So this is the first frame, it's at 0.
What is he talking about? Could somebody who has like a real brain tell me what he's saying? What is he saying? What is he selling? What does he mean by cut it out properly?
So he blinks again at 128. Right here, see the first frame. He also blinks at 64, obviously, but you can't see it here. He's just inside the painting.
Yeah, but 64 with relative to what? What does he mean by 64 frames? Like, what about when you fade out and load the next area? Like, does that restart the 64 frames? I think they talked about that, but I can't remember what the answer was.
Because of this, the community used this new method to check old world records for splices, and Frosty Zako discovered that Sukishima's old world records of 1620 and 1611 were both spliced. With this knowledge, it's safe to assume that Sukishima's stage world record was also cheated. But that wouldn't stop Zaya from hitting the cycle himself.
Metal Cap. It's crazy you can move in full speed in Metal Cap.
Strat and movement as Sukishima,
you know,
he completed
considering
Sukishima
you're fucking metal.
With a time of 44.94 in 2012. While this was monumental,
2012,
we wouldn't see Sukishima Cycle become commonplace until 2019 during Aki's 1504 world record.
I miss Aki. It looks like he's not playing. He cheated, confirmed. Oh.
And with
he did
that,
a side
many
turn?
runners would follow suit.
Did he mean to do that? Did he mean to do that? That's cool. Very cool. Good editing idea, babe.
With Aki setting the standard for RTA runs, someone would need to push single star as well. From 2017...
May I just point out that I was the first 120-star runner to do Sukishima? Just saying. Just putting it out there. I'm just saying.
To 2019, D Whatever would hold the world
I think I was. I
record
don't even
for
know if I
2
was, but I'm pretty
years,
sure.
bringing the record down
Who cares?
from
Doesn't matter. Anyway.
43.97 to a 43.57. With these improvements, it would motivate a runner known as Miko to try for a world record himself. And on October 28th, 2019, he would do just that. Miko would be the first person to perform what he called MCycle. This involved him landing on the spinning platforms, BLJing, and using the momentum to carry himself through the stage. This allowed Miko to save a half cycle over Sukima, and while the run wasn't perfect, it did secure his world record with a time of 43.30.
That's crazy.
Even with the discovery of MCycle.
Can you believe, by the way, that BLJ only saves about like what, 0.5 seconds? It only saved half a cycle compared to the normal movement.
Runners avoided learning it due to its difficulty. If they wanted a chance at beating Miko, the community would have to find something huge. Luckily, help would arrive in the form of a man named Salt and Ginger. On January 20th, 2020, Salt would develop an alternate movement for the 7th red after hitting Suki. This would require a side flip into a first or second frame wall kick to reach the red faster, saving 0.7 over the old movement. With the discovery of Salt Flip, many runners would race to beat Miko's world record. The first person to do so would be none other than Lunar Jump. Just 2 weeks after the discovery of Salt Flip, Lunar would match Miko's time with his own 43.30. This time would stand for almost 4
Really?
months.
Lunar had... No way. I had no idea. That's crazy.
Until a runner known as Gamiru would emerge from the shadows and snag a world record with a time of 43.20. This time stood for 2 months until D Whatever, equipped with Salt Flip, would take the world record back, and over the course of 2 days, he would bring the time down from 43.14 to a 42.84,
Jeez.
breaking the 43-second barrier and leaving Gamiru and Lunar in the win. And for 1 month and 12 days, all was quiet, until an old face decided to end the grind once and for all. Zaya would break the... just kidding. Miko, completely neglecting Salt Flip, would improve his BLJ method and save an entire cycle over Sukima, calling this Toka Miko cycle. He'd end this run with a time of 41.74, blowing D Whatever's time out of the water and breaking the 42-second barrier. As of April 14th, 2024, this is still the fastest cycle any human has ever caught. However, in full game speedruns, only the best of the best go for Sukima. And even in that small percentage, there's only one runner who consistently goes for Salt Flip, that being Green Suiji. Green Suiji would get the first world record with Salt Flip with his historic 14.43, and he'd do it twice more, bringing the record down to a 14.35. And that's where Dark World Red stands today. This video is really fun to make. If you guys liked it, let me know in the comments. I definitely want to make more like this. Dark World is just so stupidly hard, and in my opinion, it's probably...
I love the language that he uses. It's like you're listening to a classic speedrunner talk about speedruns. The shit that he says and the way he says it, like, Dark World is stupidly hard. Like, only a speedrunner that has done 16 star at that level would say that like that. And the way he like mentions like red, and he doesn't say red coin and Suki. Like when you grab the 7th red and Suki, it's like, it's very speedrun-esque language.
Probably the hardest stage in 16 star. If you want to watch me do it in runs live, you can watch me on Twitch. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good day.
Everybody watch Trey Bordeaux. Oh, that was so funny. I love that. I want to watch it again.
With Salt Flip with his historic 14.43. And he'd do it twice more, bringing the record down to a 14.35. And that's where Dark World...
That is so good. That is very good. It should be mentioned too that Suiji and Trey are like best friends. They're like very close. So it makes it even funnier. That's like, it would be like if I were to like put a funny clip of Simply in my video or something.
World Red stands today.